Hello there. Welcome. Good afternoon. Pranam da. It's myself and Mr. Sandy. How you doing, Mr. Sandy?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much, Dom.
Can we call you
How's
Paul
everybody
today? Is
out
that all
there?
right?
Sorry, say it again.
Can we call you Paul today? Is that good?
Yeah, Paul's better. Yeah, Mr.
Always,
Sandy
always, never
makes me
offend
feel
the
too
Northern
old.
Irishman. That's what I always say. Right. Hey, listen, we got about 60 schools on here today. That's
Great.
a cracking turnout. Thanks to everyone who's come along. Let's see if we got any comments. You can stick a comment in if your teacher's logged in. Sullivan Prep, good afternoon. Nice to see you. Mr. H, Class 42, Craggs Community School. We've got Fullerton House. We've got, I could try that one. Escola Vown, I'm going to say. Probably got that completely wrong, didn't I? Brackla, is that your neck of the woods?
Brackla? No.
Maybe that's a Welsh one. Gethin, there you go. Probably a Welsh one. And then what have we got here? Year 6. Again, let's just say jerk. Then we get away with that one. Right, blimey, look at this. They're all coming in. Blimey, down the floor. That is your way, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Down the floor is yours, yeah. Broughton. Oh, yeah, of course. We know Broughton. And then we got Cumran as well. Close enough. That'll do. I will work on it. Don't worry. And St. Benedict's, Northern Ireland in the house representing. Good stuff. Okay, well, thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Let's get cracking. So let me share my screen. Let's have a look. Where are we? Okay, now this is going to be our challenge page. If you've got access to that page, that's great. Totally great. If you haven't, don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. But here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do all the challenges on this link. If you need access to this page and you can access short links, not everybody can, but you can go to bit.ly/Feb Express. You can also do a QR code thing, which involves taking your iPad or whatever you've got, and you can hold it up to the screen and it'll take you through to this page as well. So if you want to do that now, you can do. That's absolutely fine. Blimey, we've got all sorts going on here. CCYD, that's an easy one. I can say that. Prananda, a skull, Bru Helig. I reckon I got that one right. St. Mary's, Newcastle County Down. Prananda, oh man. No, I'm like, I can't try that one, please. And we got someone from Spain, Miss Saunders. What a legend. She's always here. She is brilliant. Right. Let's crack on. So let's have a look and see what we're going to do today. Challenge number 1, graphic design. I do like this one. This one makes me feel like a proper designer, even though I'm just pretending. Paul's a little bit better than me. I'd only say that to you guys. But this one definitely makes me feel like I might be a proper designer. And then we're going to crack on with challenge 2, which is the video editing one. And then we're going to put those two together in some kind of media portfolio page. Right. So I think in the interest of time, we're going to get off with, start with designing a banging internet safety magazine cover. There we go. Banging. It's got to be banging. Otherwise we won't show you work. Hereford. Good stuff. Good to see you here, Marbrook. That's nice. Right. So how it works is, we're going to do each challenge, separately, of course. Why wouldn't you? But we're going to do the first challenge. What will happen is I'll show like how to start on like a laptop, Chromebook, desktop, if you're using that. Then I'll kick it over to Paul. He'll show you how to get started on an iPad. He'll kick it back to me. I'll kick it back to him. And basically that'll take us about 15 minutes or so. And then we'll give you about 7 or 8 minutes to kind of finish off, right? So what I recommend is, that you work alongside us kind of roughly at the same time, okay? So let me just get my connection back because that just went off. I recommend you doing it alongside us. Follow along. Don't have to keep pace with us. That's absolutely fine. Don't have to keep pace, but do follow along. And then when you can, take tips from Paul, because even though the iPad is slightly different, that everything is more or less the same. So take advice from Paul as well. And then when you get that sort of 6 or 7 minutes at the end, that's when you can start putting the bells and whistles on your work. And then we can present the work. You can see down the bottom here, we've got a ticker where you can actually present your work as well. Right, let me just get my screen back on. That's never happened before. Don't know why that did that. But hey, okay. Let's see if we can get it back. Where are we? That's it. Okay, cool. So starting off with graphic design, I'm going to start us off. Paul, you all ready to go?
All ready to go, Dom? Yep.
Good man. Right. So I'll do it in an average way, and then I'll kick it over to Paul, and he'll show you how to do it much better. So let's start off here. Now, we're going to create a magazine template. Now, I've got some example text here. So these are things that I'm going to put onto my magazine cover. Okay. Now, you'll see in the Digital Leaders Challenge, if you want to use the same text as me, there's a short link there. You can click the button there as well, or you can do that QR code using your iPad or whatever. If you want to get through to this text, let me put it on a scroller. In fact, I've got one here because me and Paul were really organized and did it before you guys were here. Right, there we go. If you want the Safer Internet Day text example, stick that short link in. Not everyone can access short links, so hopefully you can either click the button, use the QR code, whatever that is. Right. So, Safer Internet Day example. These are the pieces of text I'm going to use, okay? Because what I want to do is create a magazine cover which looks a little bit like this one on the right-hand side of my screen here, where you got this this girl with the VR headset on, okay? So if I go to Adobe Express, at the top here, you can see search all templates, okay? So what I'm going to do is going to go down to business magazine cover. I've already been searching it. Business magazine cover. Now, there are all sorts of different magazine covers in here. I chose business one because the template I'm going to use is this one here. You can see the enterprise one, but there are all sorts of different ones. And if I just take out business magazine cover, you'll see that you actually get, you know, hundreds and tens and thousands of more other ones. These powder ones, the snowboarding ones are good. This one's good. Basically, you're looking for one which has like a few sections where you can put text in. All right. But I'm going to go back to business magazine cover, and that's the one I'm going to choose because it brings up this one down here, enterprise. Paul will show you this again when he goes through his as well. But I'm going to click start from. Okay. And there we go. Let's make sure we don't miss anybody out. Let's see, Trinity Primary Hereford, good stuff. Milkwater, County Antrim, there you go, in the house. Sweet. Thumbs up from Paul. Right. So the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to call it something like SID, Safer Internet Day Magazine. Okay. Now, the reason why I give it the project the title is because if you don't, in your projects later, it will be a total nightmare to try and find. So stick your title in first, and that's a good way. That's a good place to go. Right. So let's go here, and maybe I'll do. I'll put something like Digital Leaders. That can be my title. Right, and then I can play around with all sorts of different things here, like size of font. I can go in and, you know, change the size of it just by using the little sliders on the side if you want. If you're not happy with that, just press back and it'll take you back to where you wanted to go. You can explore different fonts and stuff like that. My machine's been a bit slow. It should load some more very shortly. There we go. They're starting to, this one's pretty cool, actually, like that one. But you can just cycle through these depending on which one you want to do. That one's quite cool, actually. Or maybe this one that one feels a bit more digital. So I'm happy with that. Now, things like these pieces of text at the top, June edition. I mean, I might just go back and see, what did I do? Well, I took them off. And then I put Safer Internet Day 2023 on mine. So let's go there. Instead of your local business magazine, I'll let me get rid of that. I'll put Safer Internet Day 2023. Now, I want to make that a bit bigger. So like I showed you before, just grab the sides of it and then it'll space it out. It's doing weird things to the text. Sometimes if you do things like that, it'll sort itself out a bit. But you can stretch it out. And one of the good things here is that you can kind of center it on your page. It's doing all sorts of crazy things on mine. Ah, there you go. I might just do that so it all stays there. And then you can see the little pink dotted line. That just means, yeah, you've nailed it. You banged it right in the center. So that's all good. Right. What I'm going to do next is, before I kick it over to Paul, okay, I'm going to go and look for the Safer Internet Day logo, right? Because there is an official logo for this. And if you go to images, now what you're looking for is, if you click one, You see the way this has got like a checkered background on here. Hang on, I'll do a pop quiz for Paul. Checkered background. What does that mean, Paul?
Means it's a GIF most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes PNG maybe.
PNG or a GIF or something like that.
And what it'll mean is it's got a transparent background. So rather than just having like a white square as the background, well, actually, I mean, you could just copy the image. This might not work quite as well on an iPad. But if I delete that little logo they've got at the top there, and then do Control V, there you go, pops in. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to pop that where that logo was. So I'm going to reduce it right down, stick it in there, and you see it's telling me, there you go, there it is, it's censored. And if you want to kind of play around with it, you can on a something with a keyboard. You can use your left and right arrows and stuff like that. And then I think what I'll do is I'll get that June edition. I'm going to press Shift here, press Issue 111. That means both of those things are selected if you press Shift, and then I can just delete them and they're gone. Happy days. Right, time for Paul to show you some magic while I tweak around in the background and then wrestle it back from him shortly. Paul, don't show me up here, all right? Just keep it basic. Keep it simple.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to take you through just basically what Dom has shown us there, but slightly different on an iPad. So we're using Adobe Express. It's going to be broken up today. The 3 challenges are going to be broken up using 3 different apps. So today we're going to go for Adobe Express. It's that one there that has the lovely colored A. So if we click on that, you'll see our homepage. So our homepage looks very, very similar. What we're going to do is we will search for the same thing. So you see the search bar at the top again, and we will search for business magazine cover. Okay, so once we have searched for that and you spelled everything correctly, it should then load. It might just take a minute or two to load.
Yeah,
there we go.
it does take a while.
There we go. So we can scroll down and you can try and find the same one that Dom has used, or you can find one that's slightly different. Okay, so I'm just looking here for the same one that Dom's used, but can't seem to find it.
Yeah, anything which has got like a few sections for text is pretty good. I mean, maybe just search it. I mean, that British W&D one was quite good, or just try magazine cover is fine.
Or we just try magazine cover. There was one that I made earlier as well, using a different one. So we'll just search this.
Any sort of template is absolutely fine.
I think it's kind of good if I just show you something different. So just any sort of template is fine, as Dom said. So I will use, let's see.
I think maybe because it's spelt wrong in the top. That's why it's giving you strange results, I think.
Okay.
You missed the C.
Magazine cover. There we go. Thanks, Dom.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I do that stuff all the time. Trying to type too fast, isn't it? It always goes.
There we go. That's perfect. Perfect. So it's more like it. So I'm going to scroll down, see if there's anyone that I like. There we go. I kind of like this one. So I'm going to pick this one. And you'll see at the bottom, slightly different, but it's asking me to remix the template. So I'm just going to click remix the template. Give your iPad a moment, and what it will do is it'll allow us then to edit all the different parts of this template here.
Maybe while yours is having a bit of a think, I'll show them some things. Oh, there we go. You're all good. Go on.
So, unlike Dom's, the layout's slightly different. We can see all of the different options at the bottom. I am going to just change some of the text. So instead of here, pick me up, I can click on that. You can see that some things are grouped together. So you can see I can move this arrow and the text around. And if that is the case, at the very bottom of your page, you can see the option ungroup. If I click ungroup, then the text and the object become separate. Okay, so I will just then click on the text, and then you'll see at the bottom of your page, you have the pencil edit text. If I click edit text, I will just write on then digital leaders as our title. Let's just double tap. There we go. Digital leaders, and then hit done at the top of your page. So there we go. And again, just like DOMs, I can hold my finger on the dots on either edge, and I can make that bigger or smaller. I'm going to make it nice and big. And then I'm also going to delete the image. So this triangle, I don't want that. So what I can do is I can hit delete from my options at the bottom. There we go. So I've got digital leaders.
Nice.
Now, just before I pass back over to Dom, I'm going to show you how we put the logo at the very top. Slightly different from Dom on the desktop. So on the iPad, what we need to do is we need to go out of Adobe Express. So if I double tap on my button at the bottom, sorry, it brings me out. You can use Safari or you can use Google Chrome. I like using Google Chrome. Once we're on here, we can just search for Safer Internet Day logo. Okay, pulls that up. We will just click on images. And then don't worry if it has a white background or anything. If you can't find it, I'm just going to click on this one. And then if I hold my finger on it, you will see then that you get a pop-up of save image. Okay, so save image. So that's saved to the iPad. Then I need to go back. So by tapping my button at the bottom of the iPad again, I can go back to Adobe Express. Sometimes this happens, but then what I can do is I can hit add at the bottom of my page. I can then add a photo and then choose photo library. Okay, and then you can see there's my photo right there. And I hit add. And that's going to add in for me. There we go.
There you go. Nice.
And I can drag that and just resize it as well. So I'll drag that up to the very top of my page and just center it.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go.
Nice work. Right. While Paul gets on with other stuff there, let me go back here. Someone's saying when you click on T for text, it just flashes gray squares. Sometimes it might be because you're all on the internet. So what I would do is just refresh the page. Don't worry about it. You won't lose work and stuff like that because it's all auto saved in the browser. Right. So what I'm going to do here is show you how to change things like the background photo. Okay. Now, what you might have sort of worked out on this particular template, if you're using it, if you're not, it's absolutely fine, is that actually this has got like a white square on the top of it. Because if I turn the opacity, which is kind of like how much you can see through it, and if I turn it up to 100%, meaning you can't see through it at all, you can see you got that white square on top. And if I turn it all the way down, it's kind of gone. Now, I'm not into that. So all I'm going to do is make sure it's highlighted, press delete. And then I've got this background image in here. So what I'm going to do is going to select it. Now, the easiest way to change this is just to have it selected and press replace. Because what that'll do then is it'll open up the free photos on the left-hand side. And that's where you can select, any sort of free photo, which is copyright free. Now, if I wanted to find, I could do something like VR headset or something like that. I wonder if, I can't even remember how I found that last one. But like this would be a good image to put on there. It's pretty vibey, which I like. And then once it's in there you go. It's in there. And then I can always drag that right into the position that I want. I can play with things like, how much you can zoom in and zoom out on it. And you can just drag that around within the frame. So I kind of like that. But, you can just try different things by pressing replace again. And then, oh, hang on a minute. This one's pretty cool. And then again, I can kind of play with where it sits. There we go. I quite like that. I could also rotate it as well. If I wanted to make sure there was kind of more in the photo, I can always rotate it a bit, which is quite cool. So quite like that. And it's got a filter on it. So I'm just going to check out that filter. I mean, you can do all sorts of mad stuff in here. Darken. I don't want to darken it because my text is black. So maybe I'll lighten it even ever so slightly. Do I like that? Do I like that? Don't mind it. Contrast. Yeah, maybe I like the... No, I'm going to have to lighten it because my text is black. So I'm going to lighten it ever so slightly. There we go. Now, when you've chosen an image and you're happy with that, it's time. Ooh, hang on a minute. It's time to start playing with all of this text down the bottom. And all this is again, like that shape that we got rid of before. it's kind of got an opaque layer on it. You can see if I drag that all the way up, it still looks okay, but actually I think it's better when it's kind of, slightly opaque, so it makes it easier to read the text. Okay, so got new deals, back to business, and new players. Now this is the one I've got here, online sharing. That's my first one. Let me go back here. So instead of new deals, all I have to do is click that text, and then I'll stick mine in there. Now, if I want to, maybe I will keep it all caps. Actually, I think maybe it looks a bit better. Where is it here? Internet argument. Well, actually, I'll type it in because I want it to be caps. So instead of back to business, it'll be internet arguments. Okay, and then the third one, sleep and screens. Okay. And then I'm going to use sleep. I use the ampersand here to save me a bit of space. Sleeping screens. I'm really happy with that. Didn't really need to do anything apart from actually just change the text. That's absolutely fine. It's the kind of the same with the stuff at the bottom as well. So, Paul, if you're happy, kick it back over.
Kick it back over, yeah.
Good, man. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
so nice.
So, guys, I haven't done too much, but I'm just going to show you how we can edit some of the text and things as well on the iPad. So you might want to change the font, you might want to change the style or the color. So if I click on my text, you'll see that at the bottom of your page, you've got the pencil and you've got the edit tool. If I click on edit, it allows you to edit the text. Beside edit at the top, you've got font. That gives me a range of different fonts. So I can just scroll along and just choose, okay, let's see which ones I like. Something of a big, kind of like that one there. That one's kind of cool. I think
that's good. I like that one.
This one, yeah, I think I like this one. So I can do that. But then what I can also do is I can scroll along. I can change my color. So you see the options at the top. I can click on my color of my text. It'll give you suggested colors, which will match with your background. So if your background changes or if your image changes on the app, on the iPad, it'll give you suggested colors that might work, or you can just choose a range of your own colors, nice red or something, but I kind of liked this color. And then finally, what we can do is the text along the top. If I scroll to the very end, I've got a button called style, and if I click on style,
I'm always jealous of that because that used to be on the browser and it's not anymore, and it's still on the iPad, and it was good.
Yeah,
I like it.
So what it'll give you, it will give you a wheel like this, and I can just move this wheel around and it will just flick through different styles. So that one's kind of cool, kind of like that.
That's nice.
This one's kind of good. So as you see, as you just keep going and going and going, it'll give you hundreds and thousands of different styles. Let's go back. So I kind of like that one. And then hit done at the bottom. There we go. So we can do that. Now, we can do that with every single bit of font, every single bit of text. Now, let's say we want to import an image like Dom. I simply just click on my background, and you'll see at the bottom then the option for replace comes up. So I'm just going to hit replace, and I am going to click on Adobe Stock Photographs, because everything else there is from your iPad, but Adobe Stock is from Adobe Express. And we're just going to search for some photograph in there. So I'm just going to type in VR, because that's the sort of thing that Dom was going for. There we go. We've got loads of VR things, and I kind of really like this one. Kid with his hands up playing VR, looks good.
Nice.
So you can actually add multiple ones, but I'm just going to choose one. Once you've got it selected, you'll see add one at the very top of your screen, and that gets added on there. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the top one, I'm just going to delete. There we go. So I've got this, and I can just move it around, drag it around so I can see where it is. So I'm going to drag it over to the left, and then I'll move my text then over to the right. There we go. And now, just that my background has changed, you will see if I click on my text, and if I go to color and click on my text, it'll give me different suggested colors.
Wow, that looks so different so quickly.
So yeah, that's it. And then finally, what I'm going to do then now is I will just start adding in some of the text that Dom was added on at the bottom. So I can just hit cancel. Oh, sorry, just hit that again. Change the text. Forgot to hit done. Every time you change something on the iPad, make sure and hit done at the bottom right of your screen. That'll save it. And we'll hit done again. That's it done. Now, because I've got a flat image, I want to add in a box at the bottom just so my text will stand out. I can hit add, and then you've got an option for shapes. When I click on shapes, then all of my shapes will pop up, and I simply just want to add a solid shape, so solid square. Click add again at the top right, and then I'll just drag that down. And you can see Adobe Express automatically gives you a nice color that matches with your background.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do that. Then we're going to add again and add in some text. And this is where we can then copy the text from our text example. So again, we need to go out, go back into go back into Chrome or Safari, whatever you're using. Say for Internet Day, and the first one's going to be online sharing. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that and then back into Adobe Express, and we can paste it in there. Online sharing, and hit done. And that pops up. Nice. And then we can just and we can change the font and things as well. So
yeah, cool.
Okay for me to pass it back to you, Dom?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Paul was making me jealous there, so I thought I'd better get a better image because he was smashing it. So I did a couple of things that Paul kind of inspired me to do. On the text here, I switched on the little outline button you can see over here, and I just gave it a little white outline, and you can choose like how thick that white outline is, just to make sure the text was kind of popping so you could see it. And then on the one underneath, say for Internet Day, I actually put a shape underneath it, and it's a white one, but I have reduced the opacity down to 30% there, just to make it pop really, so you can actually see what's going on. Right, so I've got my 3 titles here, and actually you can see these lines here. They're actually shapes. You can just add in. You could go to shapes and just put something like line in. Oh, hang on, better spell it right, hadn't I? Line. There you go. And then, something like that, you can take it, put it in, and then flip it around and stuff like that. It's just as easy as sticking it in there. You can choose your color whenever you like, and then you can flip it. But if you haven't got lines on the screen already, that's the way to do it. And then you can make it black and then make it as big or as small as you like and put it in position. But I've actually got one, so I've got 3 on the template, so I don't need that. All I'm going to do now is just change these 3 pieces of text. So if I go here and copy this piece here, go back to Express, here we go. So hopefully you're sort of, messing around with things at the same time as we are. We're going to give you some time shortly just to finish everything you've got, but do keep on, do actually use the program while we are as well. Let me, hang on, that didn't quite go in. There we go. And then my last one. So as simple as, control and copy or command and copy, depending on what you're using. Select the piece of text, and then you can triple click to copy it all, or control A to copy it all. And then you can start playing around with the text. Now you'll see that my text, there's different, they're sort of aligning differently. So I'm kind of just going to, you see that one's pretty well aligned. I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll nudge it up with my my keyboard arrows. That looks about right. Now this one here, that one a bit too far, I think. This one here has actually got more text. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the size of the box by stretching these little grabbers out a bit, and then that's pretty good. And then you can just eyeball it to get it in the right position. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. And I think that's nice. You've got an Internet Day cover there, so the image is there. You can select that and press replace whenever you like. That's absolutely fine. I've got my title here. You can put whatever title you want on there. It's absolutely fine. But I've used an outline on that. You can toggle it off and on. So there it is when it's off. And then I can just toggle it on again. You see in the bottom right here. Change the size of it. If I want to change it right up, I could. That looks pretty good, actually. I don't mind that. Same with this one. I put a shape on it, or a shape, as Paul would call it. And then and then I've reduced it down to 30%. But you can whack it right up if you want. Doesn't really matter. Maybe I'll put that at like 40%. And also, you might see here on the shape, you can determine how much the shape overlaps the text as well by putting it up and down. You see it's just growing. You see it just growing there? There we go. Maybe 40 is a good one. So that's quite cool. You can reduce the box down at any point just by grabbing a little end. And then always make sure it's centered. Always think that's just really important. Make sure it's centered. There we go, centered. Okay, and now what I'll do finally is I'll show you how to do things like downloading it and sharing it, and then I'll pass it back over to Paul. He'll show you what he's done to finish his off, and then we'll give you a few minutes to do yours. But do be working alongside us as well. That's good. You can pause the video at any time, by the way, and then just click it back on again. But here we go. So to download it, you just click download. And then I'm going to go for a PNG because it's best for graphics. You can see it's there. If you want to print it, PDF is good. But you can start download. And the reason why you should give it a project name, you see, is because when you start the download, it's going to download in the bottom left of my computer. You see there? It's called the project name. That's why it's useful. That's why you should do it. Okay. And then the only other thing to do here is to press share, publish. Now, I'm going to do that again, all right, because some people do struggle with that a bit. I'm going to do share, publish. Now, here you can send it to Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, whatever it is you're using. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to create a link here, okay? I'm going to create a link. Now, pretty quick, that created the link automatically. I can take that link, and then if I put that into like a browser window like this one, browser tab even, there it is already, all published. Looking pretty snazzy if I do say so myself. And actually, what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to make a note of that because I'm going to need that later. Ideally, I'm going to need that later. So if you can have a little doc, or I think Paul does it in notes actually. But link 1 is magazine. So I'll just make a little note, keep it there. And that is how you create a magazine cover using a desktop in Adobe Express. Paul, take us home.
No problem. So guys, yeah, so I've just finished off my end there. So just to talk you through what I've done is I've slightly edited the colors of the photograph. I'll show you how we do that. I've added over like a kind of texture over the top of everything just to give it more of a tactile kind of feel. And then I've just added the text at the bottom. So let me just show you how we added the text at the bottom. So if I click on the add button, we go to text, we can add our text in. Now on the iPad, it's slightly different because we have to go back and forward between apps. It's a bit of a slower process. So we're just going back and forward, and all I'm doing is I am simply holding my finger down and selecting and copying the paste that I want, the text that I want, and then I go back into Adobe and I paste it in there just by holding my finger down, and then paste should come up. There we go. So paste, and then my text comes in. There we go. So my text comes in. I can then position my text wherever I want it to go. And I can also adjust the size of it as well. So if I click on size for my options along the top, I get this slider, and I can adjust the size up and down. So if I want to make it smaller, and then I can just hold my finger on the edge of the box to make the box wider or shorter as well. Let's just cancel all that. Select this one. Let's go edit, and we'll just delete that. So it's just simply copying and pasting your text. Now, with the image as well, I can click on the image, and there is a number of different things I can do. I can adjust the size, the scale. I can flip it around if I don't like it that way.
Oh, nice.
Flip it upside down. Then also there is looks, which gives me loads of filters. So if anyone's ever used anything like Instagram or anything like that, you'll be familiar with this. So it's colorize, which I kind of like, but I really like this one, this lighten one. Multiply to make it a bit darker.
Yeah, that's cool.
So click it on darker, and then finally what I'm going to do is I want to add this kind of texture over the top.
I told you, Paul, it'd upstage me. I told you to do that. Get on with it. Come on.
I'm going to click add. I'm going to click on the design assets.
Nice touch. That nice touch.
Design assets. Let me just hit cancel. Add. No background.
Backgrounds as well, because you can use backgrounds at the top.
And then just there in stationery, if I click on the fourth option over, it's kind of like a pixely kind of thing. I'm just going to move freely. It's the page, and what I'm going to do is just size that, just drag it over the whole thing. Don't worry. What I'm going to do then is hit blend and hit multiply. And there we go. Gives it
that. Nice. I'm going to try that.
Our magazine cover done. Just position that where we want it. And then just to finally then just to upload it, at the very top of my screen, you see it, there is two boxes with an arrow pointing down and an arrow pointing up. If I click on the arrow pointing up, it'll say preparing your project, and then I can save my project, or I can scroll over and copy the link. So I'm going to copy the link. That'll give me an Adobe Express link.
Very nice. Pretty quick, these ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm having a go at your background trick there.
Now, sometimes it does take a bit of time just to generate your link.
Yeah.
Once you've generated your link, you can paste it. So let me just show you. So on an iPad, if you're using an iPad, you'll have Notes, for example, as standard. So Notes is this app here. So if we click onto Notes, you can then just paste your link in. So there's my Adobe graphic design link in there, and we're going to need that for later on as well. So
yeah, good stuff. Nice one. Right, let me go back here. Good stuff. Now what I'm going to do is, you can see down the bottom here, it says share your work. We've got people coming in right now. You can see, let me just zoom in a bit here. When you are sharing your work with people, can you see this one, these three here? Now we can't open those, and the reason why we can't open those to show off your work is because what you've done here is you've given us this link at the top of your browser. That's a private link for you. No one else can see that. When you want to share your work with someone, you have to press share, publish, create the link, and that link is the one that you share with us. So for example, if I go back here, the first one that came in was this one. Pretty cool. And it's got some animation in there. Look at that. So that's how you do it. You need to press share, publish, and then we'll be able to get your work up. Here's another one here. Going to give you about 6 or 7 minutes to do that. There you go. Nice style. That reminds me of like 90s TV programs. I like that one. Okay, so put your work in here. There's another one coming in. They're all coming in. I like it. Mrs. from, is it Milton Primary? Nice. Like the way you've done that. Like the background. St. Benedict's College. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. That's how you share your work. So let me put a bit of music on. Maybe me and Paul will have a go at doing other fancy stuff to ours. But let's get some Feeding the Ducks on. And it's going to be about 5 or 6 minutes for you to produce your own work. If you can share it with us, it's totally anonymous. Share it with us and we can put your stuff on screen. So please do that. Otherwise, off you go. Start cracking on with your work. Didn't quite nail Paul's what he did before with his textures. So I'm actually going to see if it is. I can do it through design assets to see what happens. Oh, hang on. Where is it going to go? Where is it? Ah, it's in here. Oh, it's looking a bit crazy. Looks like someone spilled some coffee on it. Don't think I made a very good choice there. But what happens if I reduce the opacity here? Yeah, it makes it a bit more subtle maybe. Yeah, not happy with that. So I'm just going to press replace. You can replace anything in these, doesn't really matter. And then maybe I'll go for, looking for something a bit more edgy, really. What about, I just put texture into design assets, and then all it'll do is swap it out. Yeah, that's quite cool. Don't mind that. And then again, you can just reduce how much it actually focuses on there. But one thing that is really important to say is, like, say like I have put a design background on there. If I go to share, you see this is my example, and you can see this hasn't got that texture on the top. And the reason why it hasn't, this is the published version, is because I'll need to go into share, publish, and then click link again. And when I do that, it will mean that once it's published, you can see updating link with my new work, or the new thing that I've added to it. And once that goes, then when I refresh my published page, it will appear with the new texture on it. So here we go. It's a bit of a subtle difference, but you might be able to see now it's kind of got that grainy kind of look on it. I'll show you in a way which is more obvious. Now, if I selected on my, if I got rid of that and then selected my image, for example, go to filters and did something like colorize. I don't think much of that. I mean, that's not bad. Don't mind that. Or maybe I'll go duotone and see if I can make it a bit more funky. Yeah, if I did something like that, for example, not that I particularly like that, but just to make the point that if I want to share that now, it's going to save my project in the background, so everything is auto saved to the browser. And then we press publish. And then if we click link again, it will update that link. And you see this one here is still that old color. But once this link updates itself, which it will do any second.
That's one thing just to be aware of. If you are adding animations and loads of different textures and things, it does take a bit longer just to update the links and things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there you go. So now when I refresh this page, you'll see the colors changed. So it will only appear once you've republished that link. The link stays the same, but it just pushes out the new changes. Let's see what we got going on. Blimey, you see people still sending in these long links, you see. They're the ones from your browser. Can't see those. It needs to be a published link. Like, let's have a look at this one. See what we got. Oh, that was the same one before. Hang on, I think we're down here. Oh, that's the same one as before. Hang on, let me go a bit further down. There we go. Skull print tag. Nice. Hey.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then let's go cuttings and craft. Nice. Like that. Keep them coming in. What time is it now? Have a look, 58. Maybe about another 4 minutes, something like that. Nice and simple, like it. Yeah, flipped it upside down, like that. Use different ways to put the text in. That's cool. Let's go to Brackler and get something from there. Nice, like the way you set out your text there. You've grabbed your, say, for Internet Day, which is cool. Ghostbusting Church in Wales. Way, nice, Pac-Man vibes. I'm into that. Let's keep them going. Yeah, nice. That's really cool. Very classy. Yeah. See if you can put a background image in. You can search for an image. And actually one way that you can, like if I took this out, this image, for example, and then went to photos and search for, you know, who knows, this one now. Let's say this one. You can select that. And then you can just toggle that on and say add to background. Boom, it's in there. So I like that. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back. Start having a look at some more. Millquarter. Someone said give me that long link again. Can't see that one. Bropeder. Okay, what we got? Yeah. Wow, that's a cool effect. Good use of image there. Down the floor. There we go. Whoa, I like that. By the way, you can animate the text. That's cool. Really like it. I like the choice of font at the top as well. That's really nice. Okay, let's go to All Saints. Whoa, cool. I like that. There's all sorts of stuff going on there. Very vibey. I like it. Different halal. I don't know how you say that one. Nice. Like that. Got that thumbs up in the middle. Cool. Let's go for some bit further down. Okay, Fullerton House. Let's check that one out. Yes. Look at that. Pro. What do you think of that, Paul?
That is a really cool one. Lovely image.
Very good. Yeah, the image is really good. St. Mary's, Newcastle. Oh, do you know what? I think I might be able to rescue this link. Let me grab that. Stick it in there. See what we got. This one's by Riley. Yeah! Nailed that. Nailed it. Let's keep going down. Yeah, nice. I like that as a graphic. Cool. There we go. Cumran Primary. Nice. Nicely done. Okay, I don't think we've had one from these guys yet. Good stuff. Some good advice on there as well. Let's check another one out from Newcastle, and then we're going to move on. Okay, good start. Right, let's start closing down some of these. Okay, all sorts of stuff. Right, that is the place where you're going to share work, so that's good. Right, we've done that first one. Let's get that music off. Right, now we're down to challenge number 2. Don't worry if you haven't, finished the challenge or whatever. You can move along with us if you want. You can pause and you can do whatever you like, really. But we're going to move on to the second challenge. Right, this one's going to be creating a video for Children's Mental Health Week. But actually, we've done it with like a kind of like a safer internet theme with it as well, because we're going to be telling you ways in which you can improve your mental health by actually doing offline things, because actually the safest way to be safe on the internet is not use it at all. It's good when you want it, but actually staying happy and healthy is more important, and getting outside, spending time with friends and stuff like that. So this relates to Safer Internet Day, but it just crosses over into that Children's Mental Health Week. So you can see here, template of example, text if needed. If you haven't got this page and you need a short link, it's there, bit.ly example MHT, mental health text MHT. Or you can use your QR code thingamajig, and you can get your camera app on your iPad and you can open it up that way. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Right, so this is the text that I'm going to be using. Really simple. That's all it is, okay? I'm going to be creating a video using this text. So what I'll do is go to Adobe Express. All I have to do to get out of this is press the Adobe Express logo in the top left, and then I'm going to press plus, and then I'm going to go down to video. Okay. Now, when you get in here, it says, hey, give it a title. And this is a good idea because I'll just call it like offline video, because again, it'll save it. This will be the way that you'll be able to search for it in your projects. Okay. So I'll just call it offline video and then click next. Now there's all sorts of templates you can use. You can use them if you like. Paul, are you a fan of the templates?
No,
neither am I.
Neither. Sometimes they're good, but I just prefer to start from scratch because I end up changing so much the template. I might as well just start from scratch at times. So
totally agree. Sometimes the templates are good, but generally it's just so simple that starting from scratch is easy. But it can be. They can give you nice hints and stuff like that. So sometimes it's worth using. Right. Okay. Now, video is so simple. I mean, really. You've got your kind of, what do you call these down the bottom? I call them kind of like scenes. Some people call them cards. Some people call them, I don't know. What do you call them?
Scenes. Yeah, scenes.
Scenes. Yeah, scenes seems to work. So you can add them in, add scenes in. You can, move them about if you like and all that kind of stuff. You can delete them by pressing the little 3 buttons. You can duplicate them, all sorts of stuff. It's just dead easy. And then in terms of layouts, you've got 4 different layouts. Themes. This will change like things like transitions, colors, fonts, things like that. You got a favorite theme, Paul?
Noir and Mega are my 2 favorites.
Right, I'm a statement man, I must admit. And then I'm into the green at the moment. So let's go there. So you can see it changes all your scenes or your cards. Apart from that one for some bizarre reason. I don't know why I didn't change that one. It will do soon. And then so I'm going to go to my first one. Now you can resize them. You can see like if you're going to make widescreen, which would be like YouTube style videos, then you go widescreen. If it's more like a maybe, I don't know, like an ad or an Instagram or Facebook, you might want to use square, but I always think widescreen is best. And then all I'm going to do is grab this piece of text here, 5 ways to connect with others. Going to go back to my page. Make sure you're in your first scene. But I mean, even if you made a mistake and you put it in, your second one, it doesn't really matter. 5 ways to connect with others. You can bring the text up or down depending on what you want to do. And then that's going to center itself in the page like that. And then it's your choice then what you want to do in the background. You can put a video, you can put a photo. Generally, I think we'll stick with photos today just to make it easy. But here I might just put something like connect, see what comes up. And actually, yeah, pretty cool. Maybe I'll do that one. Quite like that. That looks quite cool. Right now, like I said, you should really be putting that in your first scene or your first card or your first whatever you want to call it. But I put it in the second, and you can just go, no worries. There you go. Put it in your first. Dead easy. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to record a voiceover. Okay, so you just click and hold this little microphone button in the middle. And actually, all I'm going to do is just read the text on the screen. 5 ways to connect with others. There you go. Now you can play this back. And then I can hear this on a little speaker by mine. You won't be able to hear it because I've actually silenced what comes out of this machine, but that's working really well. But also there's music in the background to this. And I can hear it, and it's automatically chosen this across the bridge one. Now what I can do is I can go through and like find a different piece of music, and you can see as I hover over these, it'll give me like a little play button so I can test it. If I like it, select it, and it'll give me the tick. If I'm like, nah, this is more of a Western Sage vibe, then you click that one. And if you like it, click it, and it'll give you the tick. So I'm happy with that. And you can, bring down the level of the music and stuff like that. So 5 ways to connect with others. And then all you have to do then is grab these pieces of text. And then you have to make a choice, really. I mean, what I tend to do is I'll do like a mix of things like split screens and captions and stuff like that. So with these, I might, put that text in there. Now, you might not actually want to put text in there, and that's fine. But my advice would be put the text in there for now, and then you can record your voiceover reading it off the screen. And then if you want, you just delete it afterwards. Organize regular meetups with friends. There you go. Now, on this side, I could put a photo in, and I could do something like friends, see what comes up. So maybe I'll use this one or that one. And again, you can just keep, scrolling through until you find the one that you want. And you can do things like, press the little pencil tool. Once it's done that spinny thing, which means it's just rendering the photo, it will give me... Come on. Anyway, it'll give me the pencil at some point. There we go. And then I can, do things like zoom in and stuff like that and reposition it if I want to. Maybe I didn't like those 2 people on the left-hand side. Didn't like them much. So I'll get rid of them. And then I'll just be like, no, out the frame. There you go. And you can flip them around as well. And then, just choose whatever you want. And if you were like, oh, do you know what? The orange background, I'm liking that. Well, then you can go back into your theme and actually change the color of your theme, and then it matches it. Maybe actually that's too much. But this is, you can play around with all these kind of things and just record voiceovers on the top. Paul, do you want to show them how to kick them off on the iPad? Good man.
So guys, on the iPad, it's a different app. So it's not in Adobe Express, it's Spark Video. So we're going to click on Spark Video. And this is what it opens up. It automatically pulls you to where your projects would be. So these are some projects that I've done. We also have inspiration down at the bottom. This is where all of our different themes are going to be. But we're just going to click the big red plus at the bottom of the screen. That's going to start us from scratch. Okay, so you can skip the editor. You can use a story template. You can do all that. But we're just going to skip to editor at the bottom. There we go. Now, the layout is a lot more similar to what Dom was showing us there. We've got our different layouts and themes and sizes and music at the top. We've got our scenes here at the bottom and our big red record button as well. So the middle of our screen, I'm just going to hit the plus button and I'm going to go to my layout at the top. And then I've got my different layouts. I'm going to go full screen. Perfect. If I click on my plus, then I'm going to add in the text. And just like before, I need to go back to my page with the text. So 5 ways to connect with others. I will copy this by holding my finger on it. There we go. I'll hit copy. And then if I just go back to Adobe, not Adobe Express, Adobe Spark Video. There we go. And then let's see, is it frozen there on me? I think it has.
Yeah, sometimes that will happen.
Sometimes it happens, especially on the iPad, guys. Like it happens with every app. Just close it down, reopen it up. There we go. Saved automatically for me at the top. So you never lose your work, which is a fantastic feature in Adobe Express. And all I need to do is just copy my text in here. Let me paste it in there. There we go. 5 ways to connect with others. And then Donald just close that. Now, if I click on my themes, it's the magic wand at the top. We've got all of our different styles. Now, I love Mega. Mega makes me feel like I'm outside. There's the mountains. Now, I can click on the pencil on the Mega, and then what it does is it generates all the different colors. So unlike with DOMs, where it just gives you the color palette at the bottom, it gives me these different options here. And I kind of really like the orange one. Looks very 1970s for some reason. So there we go. I like that. I'm going to hit done. And then plus at the top right of my screen, I can hit the plus. I can choose photos. And again, we must go to find free photos. So on the iPad, it gives us more options to search for photos on the iPad. Find free photos. And I'm going to try to connect. So there we go. So connect. And then let's choose one. There we go. I kind of like this one. So I'm going to choose one. Once I have selected it, it'll be outlined in white. I hit done. Top. There we go. So 5 ways to connect with others. That's it. Okay, so if I move on to my second page, what I need to do is I click the plus at the bottom right of my screen. The plus goes in here. I'm going to click on layout. This time choose split screen. There we go, split screen. I will add my text in. This time I'm going to add mine on the right. So I'm just going to click the plus, click on text. There we go. It's just back and forward. So back to Chrome to our text Dom has already made for us. There we go. So if I just highlight text I want. So there we go. The copy. Back to Spark page. Paste it in. There we go. So organize. Regular meetups with friends. I will add in my image. If I just go photo again, find free photos. Instead of connect, it'll be friends. I'll just choose the first one that pops up. There we go. I kind of like these two.
Yeah.
Two kind of cheeky monkeys, yep. And then, guys, on the iPad, just simply to record your audio, hold your finger on the big red button. Organize regular meetups with friends. And there we go. We have it done. And then if I just do the first one, because I forgot to do the first one, 5 ways to connect with others.
Yeah, really
Right.
nice.
We
I
can
almost
hit
prefer
play.
the experience in the iPad somehow.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot easier. I think more user friendly as well.
And also, I really like the way you can actually record with the camera, like directly there. It's like it's really cool for that.
It is cool, yeah.
Right, let
So
me grab it back here. So, a couple of things that I'm going to show. First one is I've got my split layout that I did before. You can swap these out for things like icons. Again, are you a big fan of icons, Paul?
yeah, at times depending on the project. We did
Yeah,
one all about like recycling and stuff, which we used a lot of icons.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. That's true. Sometimes they can be really useful, but that's quite good. I just think sometimes photos like they just have a bit more weight and depth to them, which I quite like. But you can use things like icons, and then also. I used a caption layout. I do like the caption layout because it kind of frames the text you've got, and also you can move the text. So that's one thing that you can do on things like captions, which I really like. You can also do it on the splash screens as well. But I kind of like basically the points. You can put them on the points. Center point, top left, top right, bottom right, stuff like that. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, because this is all it's all pretty straightforward. With this one is I wanted to show you how to put video in. Now, like I said, with the iPad, it can be really easy to put use the iPad to just like film a friend saying something. That's a good thing to do. And also with Chromebooks, you can do that now as well, can't you? So that's quite a good way. But I'm just on like a regular desktop. And one of the things I wanted to do here was, rather than use a photo or an icon, I wanted to use a video. So what I've done is I've gone into Pixabay, where you can get like free videos, and maybe your teacher download one and share one with you in a future project, something like that, so that they can check that it's a good one to use, for example. But just let me show how to do that. I can free download it here. There we go. Maybe I'll download a kind of smaller version. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then there we go. It's coming. It's down on my computer there, so I can get rid of that now. Oh, wrong screen. There we go. And then what you can do is you can go to your video tab, right? And then it will say, where's the video? Go and find it on your machine, right? And actually, what I've realized is you can't actually see, but it's popped up on my screen in terms of, where do you want to, where is it placed on your machine? So I've selected the walk-in video. It was in my downloads folder, and then I've just clicked open, and now you can see it on my screen. Now, one of the things with this is your piece of video in here now. Now, these little things on the bottom are like, how much of this video do you want to use? Do you want to use 9 seconds because that's how long it is? Do you want to use as little as 1 second? And also, if you don't use all of it, maybe you want to position it more in the middle. And you can preview what this is going to be like there, for example. That's quite cool. So what I'm going to do is click save. Now, with video, sometimes it does take a while, which is actually why sometimes I recommend, you actually use the camera on your device if you can, because that will be much faster for it to go in. But watch what happens here if I go to my text and say, like, get outside and walk in nature, for example. If I do that one, put it in as text. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of this. Hang on. There we go, because it was a bit big, right? Because I want to make it subtle, because I want to make it focus on the video here. So I'm going to get that, drag it up there. Then if I record my voiceover, get outside and walk in nature. Right, and that's a 4-second long voiceover, right? So if I just click on, anywhere in that image now, and then go to the pencil tool, you'll see I've got all sorts of options here. One is I can mute that clip, so there's no sort of sound of footsteps. Another one is I can zoom in. I can also continue the clip in another slide or another. That's the other thing I called it, a slide. Or I can trim it. Now, if you press trim, it's got this really handy button here, and it says align to narration. You can see it right in the center here. Now, if I click that, align voice and video, the voice recording and video length will stay aligned. So I'm going to click OK, got it. And what you'll see now is you have this perfect piece of video, which is totally aligned to the voiceover that you made. So maybe I want it to start Right there, right where you can see the Nike on there. And that will be perfectly aligned to my voiceover now, which is a nice little feature. And then I'll click save. And that's how you can use video. We've got a caption here with a full screen image. We've got a split layout here. We've got our splash screen here. I mean, Paul, am I missing something? Is there anything else that we need to show here?
No, that's fantastic.
It's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Pretty straightforward, yeah.
Themes, we've shown music. What I will do is, if you wanted to download it, just click download. Now I'm going to close that because I'm not bothered about downloading it, because I'm going to close it. And then I can also press the X there. And it says, do you want to stop downloading? Yes, I want to stop. But what I will do is press share and publish. Now, this is something that Paul hasn't got. There you go. Now, one of the things that is different on the like the kind of browser experience, and actually it didn't come out that long ago, and I do think it's really useful. You press share, publish. You got your title there, so it's offline video, and then you're going to create link. And what it'll do here, and this isn't the same on the iPad, but it will give you an almost ready link. And what that means is it's rendering in the background, which means it's kind of putting all your text and your images and your sound and your music all together. But it's giving you a link, which you can then, put in here. So I'll put link to video. And even though this video hasn't published itself yet, I've got it there. And I'll show you it hasn't published it by putting that link. You see, we're preparing your video. But at some point, when this blue line gets to the end, and it will do now, and this is going to make me look like I prepared this earlier, it will publish any second. And then, come on, you can do it. There you go, done. So now if I go back here, still not doing it. That's going to make me look well cool. Oh, man. Let me try it again. Maybe it's just taking a few seconds. No, not yet. Well, any second now, that's going to appear and you'll be able to play that. But by the time Paul's finished his demo, I'm sure it'll be there. Paul, you ready?
Yeah.
Good man.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, I'm just going to show you how we're going to add in some video for the iPad, because it is slightly different. So, what we're going to do first of all is go to Chrome or Safari, and there's that really cool website, Pixels.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pixels is fantastic. Now,
yeah,
we're just going to search for hiking. So I just typed in hiking at the top. There we go. And then there's photos, or there is videos, and we're looking for videos. So if I just click on video and just scroll down, and let's just see any video that we want. If you tap on it, you'll see that there's the box with the arrow pointing down in the bottom corner. If I just hit that and download, there we go. And
there
then download at the very bottom, we must click download again.
Oh, right. I thought that was automatic. So it's not automatic.
It's not automatic. And then there's another step. There's a 3-step process. So we download it. Make sure you hit download. Then open in. Then you have to open in downloads. I'm going to do this twice just so everyone can see it. Okay, so we can see it there. It's just popped in that very first video. If I tap on that video now, then if I hit the top corner, there's a box with an arrow pointing up, the very top right.
Wow.
I hit that. Then I have to hit save video.
Whoa, I did not realize there were that many steps to that.
So that then saves to my photo library, which is in here. So you can see that. There it is there. It's the very first video. So it's saved. So that's forever now on my iPad, and I can use that. So I'll just do that process again.
Yeah.
So what we do is we go to Pixels. It just wants to open for me.
I think it's on that specific page, isn't it? I think you need to X out that thing somehow.
There we go. So we go to Pixels. Let's search for something else. Let's search for dinner. Dinner time. Make sure we click on videos. We can just choose any video. There we go. So there's a nice, looks like a nice, fun Christmassy style party. At the bottom right of that one we've selected, hit the download box. Download will pop up at the bottom of your screen. We must hit download. It'll take a bit of time to download, depending on the speed of your internet and things.
Right, yeah.
Especially in schools, yeah. If everyone's using it, might be a bit slower.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing, isn't it? Is that if there are lots of you, maybe just going for photos is probably an easier way to go, isn't it? We just wanted to show people, really.
Yeah, because the videos just adds an extra kind of dimension to things, makes it come to life a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Just while
and
that's just let me prove this. Hey, you see, it has published. Good stuff. Let's get back to Paul.
Okay, so once it's downloaded, guys, you'll see open in. Remember, we must have open in downloads. You will see it in downloads pop up. So there we go. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then I must hit then at the top right of my screen, the box with the arrow pointing up, and then save video. Gotcha. There we go. That's done. So once you got your video and everything all saved, we can go back then to Adobe Spark Video. Let's create a new page. Okay, so you can create a new page. We can add in our text. So I'm going to add in text here in the middle and paste. So go outside and walk in nature. Okay, I'm going to change the size of my text, or let's change the layout to a caption. There we go. Go outside and walk in nature. Perfect. Hit done. Then we're going to add in the video. So we've got the video options. We go to files. We choose then one of our videos that we've downloaded. Pop it in there. And you can see, just like Dom showed us, we've got the selection at the bottom where we can select the length.
That's a cracking video.
We'll just hit done. And there we go. It pops it on there. Yeah, and I can record my audio as well, just like Dom. Get outside and walk in nature.
Yeah, nice. Hey, Paul, I know that you haven't finished other bits, but just show people how to share it, if you don't mind.
Yep, no, that's it. So at the top of my screen, once you're finished, you'll see that there is a share button, top right. You click on the share button, and then we go copy link to clipboard. And then the big red line that pops up at the bottom, you must click on that as well. So copy link to clipboard, and it'll just take a bit of time then just to render everything out. So that's the difference. Yeah. Mine has to render before we get the link.
Yeah, sometimes, if you do end up creating like a pretty long video, it can take a bit of time. Yeah, especially if the voiceover is quite long and stuff like that. But generally, I mean, if it's a video of this size, maybe like 5 scenes or 5 cards or 5 slides, however you want to talk, however you want to say it, it does normally, work out pretty quickly, which I like. And let me just, while yours is going there, let me just show another couple of things. Is that you can preview your work either by using the preview button at the top here, right? And then that will start playing for you, and I can hear that on a separate speaker, which you can't hear. Or you can play individual slides just by clicking, the play button that's actually on that slide itself. So that's quite handy. And also you can invite people. If you want to send this to another student in your class or your teacher or whatever, that can be quite a useful way to do things. But anyway, let's we'll stick around just for a little bit longer to see the link pop up on Paul's, because it's going to take a bit longer. But don't forget that try and have your link somewhere in something like Notes, or maybe in Google Docs or Microsoft Word doc or whatever. But try and have that link, or even just if it's open, in another tab, that's absolutely fine. But just have it there ready for when you need it, because we're going to be going on to the third challenge now, just to like wrap things up. We've got about 10 minutes to do that. So maybe we'll just crack on with that now. That's all right with you, Paul?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, cool. Right. So let's scroll down here. Challenge 3. So we're going to create a web page here. This is super simple. Really, really simple. Best way to do this, if you're in, the browser or whatever, you can just press the top left there, and then you can go to plus, and then go down to web page. Okay, now it'll say add a title, and I could put something like Safer Internet Day, and then add a subtitle, and I can say like by Dom Trainer, maybe like that. And you can move this text around as well. Put it anywhere you like, but I wouldn't do that until you've decided, what photo you actually want to put in there. Now, there's different ways in which you can format your page. You can do a short cover. I'm not a massive fan of that, although people probably use this for websites and stuff like that. So you can do a split layout. To be honest, I'm just a mug for the for like the full-size photo, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to go back to cover. And then if I go to photo, and if I search for something like, and maybe I'll go for VR headset again. Maybe I'll get our kind of, yeah, that one's pretty cool. I mean, I suppose that's VR though, isn't it? It's not actually the internet. Maybe I'll go back and do something differently. Let's have a look. Just go to internet. Here we go. That'll do. This is pretty cool. Just showing how connected we are. That one's probably nicer, I think. I'm happy with that. Now, this is where you can say, well, actually, I want my text to appear on this side, or maybe you want it to appear right at the top instead of right in the middle. Whatever it is, you can decide. Now, it says down here, scroll to start writing your story. And basically what this is going to be is a kind of showcase for these two links that we created in challenge 1 and challenge 2. The first one is to the magazine, second one's to the video. So if I do scroll, start writing your story, and then I can do something like text, and maybe I write something like, here are my 2 challenges. I'll bulk this out in a bit, but if you short on time and stuff like that, you can just use that for now. You can change the formatting of this by going to maybe header 1. That's quite big, actually. I mean, that works if you're just going to say something quite short and sweet. Here, my 2 challenges for Safer Internet Day 2023, something like that. Then I'm going to start off by putting my magazine cover into this page, right? So there's different ways you can do this. So let me show you a split layout one. So if I split layout, I'm going to have an image on one side, text on another, right? So what I could do is I could upload a photo, right? And what I'm going to do is, because I downloaded my Safer Internet magazine cover, so I'm going to stick it in there. Now, the only issue with this is that it's not the same shape and size as my magazine cover. So what it's actually done is kind of cut off bits from the top and cut off bits from the bottom. So I could select that, and then I could choose to drag the focal points all the way up to the top, and then you'll see the top of my magazine cover there. So that's not bad. I don't mind that. And then I could put things like, let me show you how to do that. Press the plus, go to text, and I could put like challenge 1 magazine cover, something like that. Now I can change the formatting of this, something like that, or header 1, something like that. That might be quite cool, and I can center it so it looks quite nice, quite like that. And then, I'll go to my Express link, and then I'll grab that post. Now, there's different things that you can do with this here. You can put some text in and say, here is my Express cover, magazine cover, something like that. Now, you could highlight all of that text, and then you could click the link button, paste in your link. That'll take people to that. I might want to center that as well. But there's another way you can do it as well. You can just press the plus and go to button. Okay. And then add a button in there. So maybe I'll do something like magazine cover. Video in there. So my cover in there, yeah. And then press save. And then I might want to align that actually. I'll align it to the center. There you go. So there's different ways in which you can put your first challenge in there. Okay. Now you can also do it in a different way, which would be to do a photo. And this is a way that you can do like a full massive, see everything on your cover. And you see the way it pops in there? There we go. Just my screen just caught up there. Now, when you select that image, if I do something like fill screen, it's too big. Okay. So what I might do with that is just do full width. Okay. And then you actually see the whole thing is absolutely massive, right? But there's also a third way of doing it, which would be if you put it in as a photo. Well, actually, let me go back and change this one instead. You could do something like inline. And actually, that's probably the most sensible, to be fair, because it's not as big. And then at the bottom, you can actually also add a caption. So challenge 1 magazine cover for Safer Internet Day 2023, something like that. So lots of ways that you can put your magazine cover in there. And then just before I kick it back over to Paul, I'll show you how to put your video in as well. So again, there's kind of 2 ways you can do this as well. You could grab your video link. Let's just make sure we've got that. And then you could just put it in automatically like that. Dead easy. But I do think if you're going to do that, I think you should put some text in at the top and then just like, here's my challenge to make a video. Something like that. And then I always think you should kind of make that quite big, center it, stuff like that. I also think this one would look really good if you actually put it in a split layout as well. So again, let me show you how to do that. So you scroll down, this pops up, you go to split layout. And then on the right hand side, you can go to video, put in your link. There we go. It's popped in there. And then this is where you can, you could search for things like video editing on this side. Find something snazzy to stick in there, like that one. And then you could put a title in there. Or you could, maybe I'll say challenge to make a video. There we go. And again, what I would say is, keep the formatting consistent, whatever formatting you've gone for. So here, what did I go for? Header 1. So in my other split layout, I'm also going to go for a header 1 because that's going to make design consistent, make it look nice. Paul, would you like to show us different ways to do that? Good man.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So again, on the iPad, slightly different. We're using Spark Page. So if we click on Spark Page, very similar to Spark Video, pulls us to our pages. We've got inspiration, so loads of really cool things just to kick you off. Or we can hit the plus icon at the bottom. Now, this is very, very similar just to what Dom showed us. At the very top of our screen, we've got like a magic wand. That's fantastic. That is our themes. I love Nightcap. I think it just works really, really well.
It's a good one.
So I'm going to use that one. I'll just click off here. So I'm just going to add the title, same as Dom. So it's going to be Safer Internet Day, and then subtitle by Paul. Okay, let's just. Okay, why is wrote in there? Sorry, my mistake. By Paul. Perfect. Okay, and then we've got the option for a photo. I'm going to click on the photo. Again, find free images is what we're always looking for across all 3 of these apps today. So find free images. And we're going to search for internet. Okay, let's see. First one that pops up, something cool. I love this one with a mobile phone. There we go.
That's a good one.
Great. Okay, brilliant.
And then professional straight off, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that looks kind of cool. Text stands out. Then we scroll to start writing our story. Just like on the desktop, we scroll. We're given then our options. So I'm going to choose a split layout, which is the last option. And there we go. So I'm going to add my image in there. I can search for my image, or I can click on my plus and I can add my photo in there. Okay, so let's see. How am I adding in? Okay, just bear with me a second. That's previewing. In the middle, we can swap it around as well. So let's just add in. Yeah, there we go. So I go back and back. Okay, so on my iPad here, we can choose some of the images, but I don't see the option to add in.
What are you looking for here?
I'm looking for the option to add my link. It doesn't seem to give me the option to add my link. If I put in text.
Oh, you can put in text and then hyperlink that there.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We have to go back to where we saved our links. So there's my first link here, which was in. Okay, so if I go copy link on notes, I go to page. There we go. Text. and then paste it in. So hopefully this works. It's not letting me add it in. There we go. Sorry, I know where it is. I know where I'm going wrong. Just bear with me a second. So the top of our screen, when we go to add in text, I don't know if you can see this on your screen, but I have what looks like a chain link. It's a hyperlink up.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then I just paste the link in there and I hit done. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the hyperlink done. Okay, now if I go to preview, that's preview, which was at the top of my screen. If I scroll down, I can click on the link and that will pull me to my image.
Nice.
Okay, that's
and if it's someone external, it will just take them to a browser tab, won't it? Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Then on the, if I go close, then on the left, then I can search for images. Or if you have saved your image on your iPad, you can pop your image in there. So I just will show you how to do that really, really quickly. So from Adobe, if I go to my my poster, my magazine cover that we did, there we go. What I'm going to do is going to edit my project, and then I'm going to re-download the project, but this time just as images, and I'm just going to download it.
Did you have some animation in there before?
I did have some animation in there, yeah. So there we go. I'm just going to download it, and there we go. So it's downloaded now to my iPad in my photo library. So that means if I go back into page, I can add in the photo then that way. So on my iPad.
Oh, maybe it's got to do in your permissions.
Yeah, it's in the permissions and things. So
that's fine.
So what I'll do is I'll throw back to you, and then I'll get that permission sorted.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Cool. Right. So here, if I've got my page, for example, I've done different ways in which you can, share your video and your work. But let me just show you. If you present at the top there, it will load up. This is a really nice way of checking your work to see if it's, exactly how you wanted it to be. Safer Internet Day. I'm glad I put my title at the top there because what it means is it kind of goes along the skyline, and then you've got the cityscape underneath. And then I'm just going to use left or right arrow. Here are my two challenges. I'm just watching. There you go. It's a little bit laggy, but this is very smooth on mine. And then you've got your magazine cover. So as you can see, if you choose this option, it will cut off stuff at the bottom because the size of this section, this split screen layout, and the size of your magazine, they're two different sizes. So that's why I've done a link there, and I've also done it as a button there. Let me just show you quickly how you do a link and a button. So you can put any text in here, right? And then I can center that, for example, and then you can select that text and then hyperlink it and then stick one. That's not the right link, but just to show you how to hyperlink something. And if you want to make a button, you put in a button there, write any text you want in there. And then again, you can add in a link in there as well. I always center them. I think it looks better. Press save. But that is how you create those things. And if I go back to present, there you go, back to this screen. That was another way of doing it. That means you can see it all on there. And also you can click it and it will bring you up this kind of like photo preview window as well, which works quite nicely. I always think that looks really good. And then you've got this section here, which is your challenge 2, make a video. So there's different ways to do it. If you just click that, you don't actually leave the page, and it automatically shows you how to do that. And then there's also doing it as a split layout there. Right. Let me just show really quickly how to share it. I wouldn't download this one. It's not a particularly a thing that you would download necessarily. You can download it as a PDF if you really want. But publishing and share link, just the same as before. Create link. And then it will composite all of those things, and you'll be able to share that with someone else. I'm really conscious of time now. So as you can see here, you can share it around Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. You can copy it, and it will open up in its own browser window. Dead easy. So what I'm going to do to kind of wrap this up is just make sure that you know that if you complete 2 out of 3 challenges on today's session, your teacher will be able to reply to an email from me that's coming out and get swag. That's what we're all about. Paul is dripping in swag. Paul doesn't need any more swag. Got loads of it. But even better than that, If you then go on and be a digital leader legend and teach it in a different classroom, you will get VIP swag. So I'm going to send out an email to all the teachers who are on the call today. If you complete 2 out of 3 challenges, you can get some swag. If you go and teach it to some other children, other students in another class, you can get VIP swag, and that's how it works. And there we go. That is Safer Internet Day and Children's Mental Health Day, all wrapped up in 90 minutes. Blimey, there was a lot going on there. Don't worry about, trying to keep up with this and that kind of thing. You can save and watch this back and play the thing again and pause us and all the rest of it. But we do really appreciate you being around. And remove that. Paul, any final thoughts? Anything to share us off, Jerry Springer style?
No, just have fun. Have fun, guys. Experiment. That's what it's all about. You learn more from making mistakes than you do just from listening to 2 guys talking on the internet.
You absolutely do. Try and break the thing. That's the way you learn. And if you're getting into any problems, just press back or reload the screen or reload the app. And that's how it works. Right. Well, thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a million.
No worries at all. And we will see you on the next one. So I'll send out an email to everyone. You know where you can get your swag and you know where you can see us on the next one. Good stuff. Thank you very much.